I'm Keith Hooper here in Central California. We're joined by Lori Colavallis and Mr. John Solleder, as well as some others if they're able to get on. Tonight's call is getting really packed here, so we're excited about this as we look at some strategies heading into 2018.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into this call.
We're on. You're on. Okay. So we're getting ready to rock and roll into 2018. We're excited about Maurizio Damascene and what he's doing here with the company. Lori talked about that the other day. Wally's spoken of it in the past, as well as John Solleder. So there's some things that we're putting together. You're going to want to grab a pen, paper, take some notes tonight. We're going to give you a couple of things that you're going to want to grab and make sure that you have. One of those is you're going to want to take advantage of the XYZTOOLS.com website. It's a site that we're going to be using to do a lot of things. We've got some tools that you'll only be able to access them through that website that are coming forward, so we're excited about that. But most importantly, we're excited about a plan of action, and a plan that not only people can do, but they will do. And this is something that John Solleder has done in the past. It's a process, and it's a simple recipe. It's like, if you can bake a dozen cookies, you can bake 1,000 dozen cookies. But you got to be able to make that recipe. Well, John's got the recipe to make this business work here, not only with Immunotech, but within all of network marketing. So he's got some great information he's going to share with you tonight. So make sure that you've got a pen and a piece of paper, and I'm going to hand the call over to my friend and partner down in Dallas. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Keith. Good evening. I know Lori's on the speaker line. Hopefully everybody else got on the speaker line. We do apologize for some of the mechanical difficulties, but we do promise in the new year all the phone numbers will work very, very effectively. So I do apologize for that. And before I forget and get into the business part of tonight, just want to wish everyone a wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and also, of course, Happy New Year to everyone. And, this has been an amazing year. And a lot of change. A lot of change for Immunotech, a lot of change for some of us personally, a lot of changes going on in our lives, hopefully in very positive ways. And as we look towards 2018, I've been talking to many of you individually, and Keith and I talk just about every day, and others of you I talk to on a regular basis. And in doing so, we said, we have not had an organizational call of any kind in I don't know how long. So I apologize for that. And to tell you my excitement about Immunotech after 20 years of being here and 34 years, be 35 years in April, that I've been in the network marketing industry on a full-time basis, I can tell you that the fact that a week before Christmas we're doing an organizational call should tell you how excited we are about what we see, the people that are coming into Immunotech, obviously in the field first and foremost are a blessing, but even the corporate people that are coming to the company. You're starting to see their resumes, their track records at other companies. They're all attracted to Immunotech because they know what you've all done. This company exists because of what you've done. This company exists because of what Dr. Bunos did. So once again, give yourself a big hug this Christmas season and a big pat on the back because through 20 years, this company has grown, survived, flourished to the point where Maurizio and his family decided to get involved with us and likewise to now bring some real key executives that I believe are going to move the company forward very aggressively. But tonight's not an opportunity meeting, obviously. Tonight is an organizational meeting. You're in Immunotech. You're already here. We've already done business together. We're going to continue to do business together. We're going to grow each of our businesses Lord willing, here in 2018 and beyond. So in all of that, I say all of that to say this. We've put together some strategy and tactics. Some of this, as Keith referenced, I've used before very successfully. So I want to share some of that tonight. I know some of you have some plans. I've asked a few people to be on the speaker line that are going to share a few things that are coming up in the very first month of January. In the business, primarily in the Canadian market, but there's also things happening, obviously, down here in the United States as well. So some of you, the leadership group that we put together that are going to be participating in what I'm going to tell you about in a moment, have flyers. And the phone numbers are going to change. The reason we didn't send them to everybody is that we've had this phone challenge between the U.S. and Canada. We're going to get that resolved, so we'll have phone numbers that you could all adequately get in on. And more importantly, when I explain what this strategy is, the new people in your business that are going to be growing with you in 2018 will be able to get on. So anyway, let me just kind of roll this out for you, what this is from my standpoint, and then we'll, as I said, we'll pass the call along to some other people. Okay, so I was mentored in this business by a guy named Larry Thompson. Larry Thompson was the co-founder of one of the largest companies in the history of our industry. Keith was mentored in this industry by a guy named Bob Schmidt, who was one of the all-time leading producers in the industry as an independent distributor with several companies. And in talking to each other about what we feel is needed, along with, once again, conversations with some of the leadership group, we said, look, we need to kind of get a hold of people as they come into Immunotech. It's great that we have people hitting diamond and executive diamond and platinum and all these wonderful positions, and they're making all sorts of money, and there's all these stories. That's tremendous. But at the end of the day, if we can get our arms around the new people, the people as they enter into Immunotech, and we can start with all of our collective experiences to influence that group, we're going to grow the organization that much quicker in 2018. So the long and the short of it is this. We put together a panel of people that you'll meet tonight. I'll mention them to you in a minute here. You know them all. They're all people that are familiar to you that are part of Immunotech already. And I've asked each of them to be part of a training group that we are putting together and to really cover in a week-to-week basis some training with some consistency to it. Keyword consistency. When I learned this business initially in 1983, I had what was called reference points that were given to me by my upline and by the company that I was with. And those reference points are things that I used not only to build my business back then, but to build my business in subsequent companies where I've been a top earner and a top achiever, made, thank God, a tremendous amount of money over the years, and then more importantly, helped a lot of other people to do likewise. So we're going to put together, beginning on January the 4th, if you want to write that down, January the 4th, which is, I believe, 3 weeks from tonight already. Hard to believe we'll be through the holidays, right? Some of you are going to say, thank God, including me. But on January the 4th, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone, 6 o'clock, of course, Mountain, and 5 o'clock Pacific, we have put together what's called an Achievers Team Call. And on that call, each week there will be some consistent points that the speaker leading the call will go over. And who are they going to go over them with, I'll tell you in a minute. But here's the basic points. And you don't have to write this down, but feel free if you want. I'll just kind of reference it quickly, and it'll be on some flyers that Keith will be getting out here in the next couple days. The first one in this Achievers Team Call is what we call the 10-penny principle, which most of you are familiar with. You've heard me talk about it. If you read any of the books I've written or articles, I always talk about the 10-penny principle, which is putting 10 pennies in your left pocket, and each person you talk to transferring one to the right pocket during the course of the day. And by doing that, it builds consistency in talking to people. Secondly, of course, DMO, Daily Method of Operation. This is something that goes back to the 1960s in network marketing. Daily Method of Operation is how we build our business, what we do on a daily basis. Thirdly, of course, is how to do a three-way call with your upline sponsor. And point 4 will be how to utilize the local meetings in your market as well as the conference calls. Keith referenced a minute ago XYZ Tools, which is kind of our communications command center for our organization with all of the conference calls. That includes the Wednesday afternoon call that Lori Carlavalos did a fantastic job on yesterday with Betty Lyons and Sandy Walper. Many of you have been speakers on that call. That's a Wednesday afternoon call that takes place. Likewise, Keith has his product call on a weekly basis. There's other calls taking place in our organization that'll be in there as well, nightly calls, et cetera, et cetera. So, but once again, kind of coming back to this Achievers Team concept, there's 4 basic things that we want to teach to the new people, and the 5th point will be what I call miscellaneous, and that's up to the individual speaker who's conducting the call on a weekly basis, and we've assigned by the way, these calls already, and I'll tell you the list in a minute there. But basically, they'll be going over that basic information, which is stuff that a new person needs to know that they've probably never heard before. Okay, and those become their reference points. That's the 10-penny principle, the daily method of operation, how to do a three-way call with their upline sponsor, as well as utilizing their local meeting schedule, et cetera, as well as conference calls. And the fifth thing is whatever else that they care to cover. I mean, everybody's got their thing that they want to perhaps go over. Perhaps it's meeting information. Perhaps it's, something that's happening within the company, perhaps a special call, a special promotion, et cetera. So, once again, that'll be up to the individual speaker on a weekly basis. So that call will take place, the first one, on January 4th, 2018 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, who is that call for? Well, obviously, that's called for all of you. If you want to participate, you're certainly welcome to. It's probably going to be a refresher course for most of you in network marketing. Perhaps there's things you haven't heard before. But at the end of the day, who that call is for someone who has sponsored their first person into the Immunotech family. So that's for the new guy, the new gal, the new couple, the new person. They've gotten involved in Immunotech. Perhaps they get involved here in the next couple of weeks over Christmas. They bring their first person into the business. They are invited to that call. They'll get a flyer emailed to them that Keith is going to be emailing to them to welcome them to that call. That call is for them. That's the audience. Now, once again, we can all participate. We can all learn from each other. But at the end of the day, that call's for that new guy or gal. I remember 1983. My upline sponsorship in the company that I was in at that time, Tommy Houston and Mark Zuckerbrod, two guys who are still good friends of mine to this day, they put their arms around me. They started to teach me some of these concepts, okay? But there was the consistency, once again, of what the company had put together. And that company today, by the way, is a $5 billion company. So, they've been pretty good at what they've done with those basic fundamental things. So once again, we want to get our arms around these new people. The next Wally Kraliks, the next Lorries, the next Suzettes, the next Fosters, the next Keiths, the next Sandys, the next Dougs, the next whoever. I can't remember everybody's calling the call obviously tonight, but the next leadership in Immunotech is going to come from what we do wrapping our arms around these people. And if we do it organizationally, if we do it as a group, if we do it as a ball club, if we do it as a family, we're going to help those people to get off to a really good start and let them know that they're not alone. You all remember when you bought your initial package in Immunotech or perhaps in a prior company to Immunotech. What a scary process. You've given your credit card, you're trusting a person, maybe it's a stranger, maybe it's somebody you just met, at the gym or the bank or wherever, and you've given them your credit card and this product shows up and you go, oh my God, what have I done? Okay, we've all been there. So it's to get them through all of that and to start to guide the process with success principles that we know are timeless and that work and, frankly, that have built dynamic and huge organizations. So that's our Achievers Call. And we'll talk more about that as we go on here in the weeks and months to come. Now, what about the person that goes and sponsors? And by the way, they'll be part of a team called the Achievers Team. And you can thank Foster for the Achievers Team name. And the second group of people, our good friend Lori Carlos named this group, and this is going to be the Bronze Group, okay? Bronze, B-R-O-N-Z-E. And this Bronze Group are going to be people who sponsor two people personally. It doesn't have to be in a calendar month or whatever. It just has to be, they sponsor two people in whatever time frame, starting now going forward, okay? So when they sponsor two people, once again, they're going to be invited to a second call. So in theory, they've been invited to the first call, right, the Achievers Call. They've been through that. They've gotten some new information, some new knowledge, some new things to go out and do as activities. And now they're going to go to the Bronze Team as they sponsor their second person into the Immunotech family. And on that Bronze Team call, once again, there's going to be some consistent points that we want to teach. What are those points? Number one, creating and adding to their prospect list constantly. We all did this, right? We all sat at our first couple of meetings that we went to, and we wrote down, Aunt Mary and Uncle Bob and Cousin Bill and Joe at the gym and Mary at church, et cetera, and then we stopped adding to the list. And maybe we even had some success with that initial list, but we forgot we're supposed to keep adding to it, and there's constantly names. It's getting them, once again, in that habit of constantly adding to that list. So that's one of the things that we'll teach on that Bronze Team call. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to teach them how to get to silver, because if they've got two, In a calendar month, well, you all know the marketing plan. They only need 3 to get to silver and really start to ramp up their money, okay, in the compensation plan. So once again, we're going to talk about, hey, okay, listen, Bob, Bill, Mary, you got 2. Let's go get that 3rd one before month end. And once again, we're going to help to create volume for them, volume for you as an upline, volume for the corporation. And at the end of the day, by doing that, we hope to build a lot of new silvers in the United States and Canada going forward. Thirdly, of course, is how to package their story, how to tell their story. Listen, if they've done something, at this point, they have made a check in Immunotech. Now, they may not have gotten it yet because a lot of these people are going to come in and sponsor 2 people their first day, their first week, their first month, so they haven't actually gotten the physical check from Immunotech yet. But that's part of their story. You're going to teach them how to package that story so as they begin to tell their success story to other people, to recruit them into Immunotech, to get them on our products, etc. Once again, they're going to understand how to package their story. 4th thing, how to use their Facebook page to promote their success. Boy, a lot of you are doing a great job with this, by the way. I got to say, I was looking at Doug LeClaire's site earlier today, and I've looked at some of your other sites, some of the people that are perhaps on the call this evening. Some of you are doing a great job, and some of you still haven't figured out Facebook can be a marketing tool. You don't have to kill it with it. It's still for all the other things to show the baby pictures and all the other nice stuff. But use it as a business tool, too. You'll notice mine, I'm always dripping. There's always some way to get Immunotech in there. This weekend, Fred, my son, will finish first half of his hockey season. There'll be some reference to Immunical somewhere in there with him taking the product or one of his teammates taking the product. There's always going to be something, some soft way that I'm constantly dripping, the name Immunical, the name Immunotech, a meeting that I'm at, an event that I'm at, something I'm participating. So I constantly am getting a name in front of the almost 4,000 people in my Facebook family. And I have had people, as recently as last night, say to me, okay, tell me about the Immunotech thing. Okay, so once again, we're going to talk about little strategies for that. We don't have to become Facebook experts, but this is a tool. It's a free tool. Why not use it? 5th thing, of course, is how to use the schedule of calls that we have to promote your business. And that's something that, once again, XYZ Tools is going to become very valuable, hopefully, to each and every one of you to know exactly what calls are and what you can utilize, once again, to build your organization with. And once again, the 6th thing will be miscellaneous. Whoever the speaker is, that particular night, once again, there might be timely things within the company. There might be special calls. There might be special promotions. There might be the upcoming convention. There might be after the convention announcements. I know there's going to be announcements after the convention. All of those things that you're going to want to share, once again, with that new team. Now, this is not necessarily your team. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's people on your team. But it's going to be people that we as an organization have brought into Immunotech that are going to be on there. Now, you're probably asking yourself, when is this call going to be? These calls will begin also on January 4th, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So these calls are about 20, 25 minutes. You want to get them through. You don't want to get people on there for hours. Okay? About 20, 25 minutes will be what the Achievers call will be. That call will end 8:30, the Bronze Team call. Okay? And it'll be the same phone numbers and everything else. So once again, too, there'll be an invitation to the people as we get their data that we can market to. You're going to want to market to them, make sure that they get on there, get the flyers, etc. So that's how the Bronze Team call is going to work on the way to silver. Now, we've assigned an initial team of people. Some of you I've talked to directly about this recently. Some of you I haven't. I apologize if we haven't had a direct conversation. I know everybody's been crazy with going to Cancun, going to Los Angeles, going to Lake Tahoe, and also, that thing called Christmas that's coming up. So here's what we're going to do. For the very first 2 calls on January 4th, Mr. Hooper and I will take care of that one, get the ball rolling for the new year. On January 11th, Wally, and you all have a copy of this, by the way, in your email box, all the people's name I'm going to mention. Wally, we've assigned you January 11th, Lori, January 18th, Foster, January 25th, Suzette McKay, February 1st, Doug LeClaire, February 8th, Doug McNabb, February 15th, Wally again, February 22nd, Lori, March 1, Foster, March 8th, Suzette, March 15th, Doug LeClaire, March 22nd, and Doug McNabb, March the 29th. And once again, I know we just kind of picked those people, but also assign them, and if you have conflicts, just let me know. The reason I and Keith are not on there is we're assuming that people will have conflicts, and we're going to have to fill in from time to time for different conflicts. So no problem on that, but we wanted to get out a schedule for the first quarter of the year to show you not only how serious we are about this project, but also to show you how serious we all are collectively, all the people on that list and ourselves, about how we feel about Immunotech and the explosion that's going to happen in 2018, and what we can do individually and, more importantly, collectively as a team to help to facilitate that growth within each and every one of your organizations with the new folks that come in. So that's kind of where we're starting. I hope you like all of that. I'm sure you're going to have questions on it in the next couple of days. We're going to clean up some of the documents, make sure the phone numbers and all that sort of thing are working, but that's where we're going to start. Should mention January 3rd, we will have our next Wednesday afternoon call for the new year. We'll be starting out that as well, but that's kind of where we're starting the year. So, Lori, if I can turn this over to you for a minute and just kind of ask you to talk a little bit about what you see here. I know you've been working on this with me a little bit, so if you want to just reference that and talk a little bit about what some of your plans are for 2018.
Okay, perfect. Can you hear me clearly?
I can, yes.
Okay, perfect. I want to say hallelujah. This is awesome, and you know, as you were talking, I'm even thinking and want to throw it out there that I think we should all have a team name also. You know, I think that's important to make people feel a part of something. But no, John, Keith, thank you very much for getting this all together, because I think it's going to, you know, as you said, and we keep repeating it, but there's been a lot happen with Immunotech this past year, and they really are investing in our company and in our growth. So, you know, I feel very, very strongly that 2018 is going to be really an epic year. And, you know, here, us in the U.S. and us here in Canada, I mean, we've got such a great opportunity, and they're investing. I mean, we've got David that's going to be really focused on Canada now, and we've got, you know, the new Meredith who, you know, her credentials are amazing, and they've hired her to be the president of the U.S. So, you know, timing couldn't be better. And I think what you guys are doing, I think, is critical for growth, because, like you said, John, it's easy to talk about the platinums and the diamonds, but, you know, it starts with somebody joining and then getting, you know, their first person on the board, and we're going to be recognizing that. And so, you know, they're going to feel a sense of belonging. They're going to feel, you know, because, like you said, it's scary. No matter what their background is, they've never done this before. So I really applaud you guys for doing this. While we have the people on the line, us here in Ontario, if you want to mark these dates down, we will get some information out to you. But on January the 27th, the location, we're just actually working with a hotel right now, probably be in it will be in the Vaughan area. And we'll have about a 4-hour day. Who will be there is tentatively, David Marshall and John Solleder. And we'll really be kicking off our year with that, with some special promotions, and that's going to follow up by a special meeting on February 24th, and we're hoping to have Dr. Gutman. That's been put out there, and that'll be, of course, you know, post-conference, and there's going to be a trip announcement. There's a new product coming that I hear. I don't know what it is, but I hear, I actually probably do know a little bit more, but, you know, it's something that's going to be phenomenal for our company. So mark those dates down, because they're, you know, in this area. It doesn't even matter if you listeners are there out west or in Canada or in the U.S., you know, we will help look after your people. But, you know, let's roll this together. And I think, you know, it's been a while since we've kind of all been working together. And like I started, hallelujah, I really mean that. I think this is critical for our growth, and I applaud you guys for getting this going. Back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Lori. You know, you've shown such tremendous leadership here, especially this last little while, and been willing to, you know, not only participate but give input and dialogue. And I can tell you how much both Keith and I appreciate your efforts this year, and everyone on this call. I hope everybody's been able to get on this line that I asked to get on there. Foster, you with us? Foster going once. All right. No Foster.
No, he should be there.
Foster, you there?
Okay, let's go to Suzette. Well,
How about, is Suzette there?
Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me now?
I certainly can,
Hello?
Suzette. How are you?
I'm having a great time. Just landed in Ontario.
Oh, good place to be. Well, why don't you just mention, if you will? I know we've had some discussions about a variety of different things here in the last little bit, but your not only your feelings about this, but your commitment going forward as well.
I think it's going to be a great year. You know, we went on the trip and you could just feel the pulse of the company that's going to explode. Like, this train is going, whether we're on it or not. It's on its way. There's lots of things that we can do, and I think that it'll work well as a collective. We need to get everybody joining and cheering and movement together as a unit. I think I'm really looking forward to that. And I like this because it's a system. We're going to assign our people. We're going to put them in the system. These are the steps that you do, and at the other end, this is what you're going to get. And I find, in speaking with other groups, that the system is what makes them go fast. And the fast is what gets everybody excited. So this is our year. This is your year to participate, and let's make it rock this year.
Well, thank you, Suzette, and once again, thank you for your leadership. Once again, you had a great year. Your business has grown, but once again, the leadership and both Lori and Suzette, I can tell you, they work with their groups. They'll work with anybody's group. Okay, both of these ladies. I get phone calls from people saying, "I just got to phone Lori. I just got to phone Suzette." And I'm going, "What? They're not in your downline or upline." And I'm going, like, you know what? They work as a team. They work as a ball club, and that's what's important. Most of you know me. I mean, I'm a lifelong athlete. I'm falling apart because of it. But, I always believed and I've always been a fan of the New York Yankees. I hope I don't get anybody too mad about that. But at the end of the day, the New York Yankees have never put the names of their players on the back of the jerseys. They've always only had on the front the Yankees. And my son plays for a former NHL player. And he gave that speech to the boys a few months ago about the only name that matters is the name on the front. And at the end of the day, both Lori and Suzette are indicative of that in not only how they lead, but how they work with people, wherever they are in the organization. I appreciate that, not only as an upline, but also as watching them as human beings to help other people because they know how important this cause of Immunical is to take to the world. Mr. Kralik, are you able to get on the line, hopefully?
I'm here, John. I'm here.
Wow, take it away, buddy.
Okay, I'm like Laurie, yahoo! and I endorse what Suzette just said. This whole industry is built. Those companies have gone into some serious momentum that have had systems in place. That duplication has to happen. We hear that word all the time, and we think we're duplicating, but I talk to so many different distributors, even on my team and in other groups. That duplication isn't really happening, and it happens occasionally by some of the people that get involved, but on a whole package, it's not there. So what you and Keith have done, and along with all the leaders that you've included in on this thing, we're going to have a very concentrated effort to develop that system. I'm sure you're going to fine tune it as we're moving forward, and so people can start duplicating. So it's crucial, and the bigger your organization gets, the more important it is to have those systems in place because you can't take care of everybody. And then, of course, the most important person in this business is the foot soldier. And if that foot soldier, he's got his pack on, he's got his gun, he's got all his equipment ready to go out into the field, and if they don't know what they're doing, if their gun is not loaded, they're going to get shot. And these foot soldiers go by the wayside, and then they blame the industry, the company, their upline, and it's not fair to them nor anyone else other than the person who brought them in didn't do it correctly. So you implementing this thing, as I say, along with the other leaders and Keith, I think it's a real step forward. And like Lori and Suzette, I'm so excited about the direction of the company now. I mean, with Mauricio and Meredith, and with the new people they brought in the U.S. also, they're really focused now on marketing and moving this company to the next level. We've been researching, and we still are a research company, but we're focusing now on marketing. We're going to get all the tools, all the things, all the ingredients to really put the icing on the cake, and along with the cherry. And this company is going to have phenomenal growth, and I'm glad I'm part of it. And I thank you, John and Keith, for putting this thing together.
Well, Wally, likewise, thank you for spending the last 20 some odd years of your life here, and prior to that elsewhere, and coming over here and helping to lead and building a huge business. But more than that, I like your word of foot soldiers, because that's exactly it. If you study military history, which I'm sure most of you have at some point in your lives, you look at it, and the way that you build and maintain an army is from the bottom up, not from the top down. And we got to take better care of our foot soldiers. We got to train these people. We got to lock arms with them. I was saying to Keith earlier, some of the people, I won't use names if we're recording this call, and some of these people are in other organizations I worked with, but I think of how many $5 and $10 and $15 and $20 million earners have been somewhere in my network over the years. And I think about, I was saying to somebody earlier today, I think it was Foster, I don't know who's going to show up for these calls. These Wednesday calls, we started these things a couple of months ago. We had 25 people on yesterday afternoon, 2 weeks before Christmas. I mean, I don't know where these people came from, but they're showing up, and they want the information, and they want the knowledge. And I look at these calls and I say, once again, we don't know what the audience is going to be, but we know there's an audience for what we have. We know there's people that need what we have. Not only our great products, of course, but at the end of the day, our opportunity. I was I was having my breakfast this morning in McKinney, Texas, and I was sitting there, and I was looking at two people on their laptops, and probably about my age, in their 50s, and I could tell they were both looking for jobs. And I said, these are the people that we need to reach with Immunotech and with not only what we do, but they need what we have. And there's so many people out there that need to be reached, that need an opportunity, need a chance. And we've got that, but we need a better way to deliver it to them. And once again, to your point, Wally, the foot soldiers, the people as they come through the door, if we can get a hold of them as a leadership group, as a leadership development team, as people who care about them, not only their success, because it's obviously part of our success, but we care about them a little bit, and we show them the way, we're going to have a whole bunch of new achievers. This time next year, there's going to be a whole bunch of new names that we don't know that come as a result of what we do here. So I'm looking forward to it. Once again, thank you, Wally, for everything you've done past and what you're going to do.
John, if I could step on you, we've got Foster with us as well.
Well, I was hoping so. Mr. Owusu.
Hey, John, Keith, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can. Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to echo some of the things that Laurie mentioned. Fortunate for us, Laurie and I were on the call with David Marshall yesterday, filling in for some of the leaders in Ontario. And I can tell you, if you're in the GTA or in Ontario in particular, you should be excited about 2018. In addition to all the things that were mentioned tonight, David Marshall is going to be more visible in the GTA. He's given us a commitment, at least 3 to 5 days out of the month, starting hopefully next month. And he's going to be right here in Toronto with us. And why is this important? Well, as we always talk about this industry, when you are new, every single person go through this moment where they have somebody that they call somebody on their chicken list. You may know a dentist, you may know an accountant, you may know a lawyer, somebody that, in your particular situation, you may think that maybe they're doing better than you, so you cannot approach them. You're checking out. Well, that's where folks like, David Marshall will come in. The same way we have John Solleder coming here on the 27th of January. If you have somebody on your chicken list, well, this is an opportunity for you to leverage John's visit to invite new consultants. Again, all you have to do is let them know that you want to introduce them to somebody who's very successful in business. And I can tell you, if a person has any business mind, you tell them they're coming to meet somebody who's successful, they'll hunger for it. I mean, that's what successful people do. They want to see the next successful person that they can probably tap into, his or her brain. And I think for us in Toronto and in Ontario in particular, we should be excited about this, because what this is going to happen is going to lead to a lot of great things. For example, when John is here in January, before we have Dr. Gartman in Trevor after the convention in California. And guess what? We do well. Even after March break, we can then, bring Mauricio to Toronto in April. What is happening right now, folks, is the fact that Mauricio made the announcement in Cancun about a month ago that we're going to open 2 new countries every year. Well, guess where we're going? Doug Leclerc is on the call right now. He'll tell you about 8 years ago, probably longer than that, one of our diamond consultants moved to Colombia. That's Randy and Marisa. And they've been there since this time. The good news is, a lot of expatriates in that particular country living in the local area, well, when Immunotech moves to, Colombia, boom, some of us suddenly we have an opportunity to leverage because we have an established diamond consultant who moved from Toronto and now have settled in Colombia. You never know where this business is going to take us, just like what John said. You don't know who's going to be on this call. You don't know who's going to become the next, champion in this business. And of course, we have laid a foundation. When I say we, it doesn't mean that those of us on this call, but every single person who's been part of Immunotech to this 2017 ending, has contributed. One thing I want to mention on this call, just so that we prepare people ahead of time, folks, starting 2018, things are going to change. We're going to start thinking like business people, especially for those who want to build this business as business. The fact is, starting January, every meeting that is being held here in Toronto, if I'm part of it, we have made the conscious decision to make sure every consultant contribute minimum $10. Folks, we're making this announcement on this call now so that you'll be fully prepared. Don't come to the meeting unaware that we are now paying $10 to support our local meeting. Why? This is a business. You cannot go to any meeting at a hotel and not expect to at least make an investment. It's not an expense. It's an investment in your business. This is what is going to bring the quality of people that we want to attract. You can never bring a foreign speaker, whether it's Dr. Palayo, who's going to help us to tap into the Latino market or any other leader, without really spending some money to bring them down. Also, we're going to start providing some light refreshments at our meetings. All these things cost money, and the company, as much as we all enjoy the corporate assisted programs, we cannot expect the company to do everything for us. And if we allow that, then we're also limited to what we can do. In other words, if there's no corporate event, we get nothing going. So we want to change our mindset. It's been a good 20 plus years that we've been relying solely on the corporate event to hold meetings in hotels. So, it's an exciting time. It's going to 10 p.m. and I still have some energy. So, John, I just want to hand the call back to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, once again, thank you, Foster, for all your past good deeds and all what you're going to do in the future. And you're going to see me a lot in Ontario and in Canada here in the next little while. So, and starting off January 27th. I'm looking forward to that meeting, by the way. I can't wait. I love Christmas like you all do, but I'm looking forward to January for a lot of reasons. I don't know if Doug McNabb. Doug, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Doug, why don't you kind of give everybody the lay of the land there as you see it as well?
Hey, I will, John, and I thank you very much for having me on the call, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and to everybody on the call, and thanks for taking time out of your Wednesday evening here to join us. I've been all over the map, as you know. I've been doing a fair bit of traveling lately. But there's no doubt there's winds of change are sweeping, and we say that, but a couple of things, John. One thing I got to tell you, I don't know if that 10 penny principle is going to work in Canada anymore, because we've taken the penny out of circulation. So up here it's going to have to be the 10 loony principle or something different, I think. But anyway, we're what this is an interesting thing. I don't deal with Alberto much, and I don't know how many of you people know Alberto. He's one of the field representatives for Eastern United States. But I was talking to him yesterday, and he was doing some meetings in Florida, and he was in there's a reason I'm sharing this. He was in Miami, then he was driving across and did meetings in Fort Myers, then he was driving up to Jacksonville, and he was driving back to Orlando. So this week they've got that guy running, and see, it's not him saying I want to do meetings in these towns. He's responding to field requests. He's responding to activity in his area where the consultants are setting up the meetings. And, that's what I want to see us get David Marshall. Let's start whipping David Marshall. Let's start developing teams and leadership in different communities, and then we'll start running David Marshall ragged. We'll start running him across the province, across every province in the country, from one end of the country to the other. And it's completely doable. And I love what Foster's talking about, introducing some cost to it. Because what Kevin, like a lot of you know Kevin and Deb from Calgary, our consultants of the year. And the difference, if there's a difference between the teams that they've built, I mean, they went diamond in 90 days, they're knocking on the door of executive diamond here. Their meetups are full of excitement and enthusiasm. They always have refreshments. They often have appetizers. I've been to several of theirs where they had live music. So they make their Western Canadian events a lot of fun, and they draw a lot of people in. And if there's a difference between them and some of us that have been around for a while, it's really just, their enthusiasm reminds me of how each and every one of us were when we started in this deal, however long ago that was for you. Some of it is not that long, and I would expect you to still be very, very enthusiastic. Some of us have been around for a while, but you know what? Is there a law out there that says we can't re-engage with enthusiasm? Is there a rule that says that, we're not allowed to get excited about this anymore? No. There's no doubt that our product that we have is life-changing. There's no, I mean, look at the history. Look at there's this reason for all that science and all the accolades it's achieved, because it works. And it produces remarkable results in the people that use it. And we almost have an obligation to our relationship with Dr. Bonus and this company for all these years to re-engage and get super enthusiastic about what this product can do. Mark Yarnell said, set yourself on fire with enthusiasm and people will come from miles to watch you burn. And that's never changed. Because I'll tell you what Kevin and Deb definitely have is a great deal of enthusiasm and excitement, and it's contagious. Their team has it. I talked to different members on their team, and they're enthusiastic and excited about this opportunity. And it re-engages me. It gets me excited and I find myself talking with more enthusiasm about our product and the results that and because every good company, it comes down to a product that works. And we all know we have the greatest product in the history of this industry, and we're seeing what's happening. We're seeing what's happening with the Hispanic culture. They've embraced it with great enthusiasm, and look what they're doing. And I think the time has come for us to lead the charge back into the North American culture with enthusiasm and these organizational skills that are being brought to the table here today. And I see Immunotech really stepping up. I mean, we've been blessed to have our Hispanic friends join us and really, make this thing explode. But they have nothing over us. They just have a great deal of enthusiasm, and that's up to us. We bring that to the table, and this deal is really going to change. Back to you, John.
Well, Doug, once again, thank you for everything you've done here the last 20 years as well, Doug. Another guy that's been here a long time. But, Doug just used a really tremendous word, and that word is enthusiasm. And, if you look at the Greek origin of that word, right, it's ethos, and ethos means God within. Enthusiasm is from God within, and I'm not preaching to any of you tonight. I hope I'm not offending anyone, but at the end of the day, if I am, tough, it's Christmas. Ethos is God within. It's enthusiasm. It's how you talk to people. We have this great mission. We have this great product. We have this great story. We have something that people can earn income. We have things that can deliver people from the ghetto to the penthouse. Why aren't we telling more people? Well, here's what we're going to do in 2018. We're going to tell more people. We're going to train more people. We're going to help more people to better themselves, better their families, better their situations. That's our mission. And at the end of the day, I'm getting pretty pumped up here. But anyway, I don't want to get too pumped up here because I got to introduce the host for the call here tonight, my good friend Keith Hooper, and I know he's got a couple of comments and thoughts on his end, and he'll turn it back to me, and we'll call it a night.
Well, we want to thank everybody for taking their time to be here and let you guys know that we're going to have Meredith, the president of Immunotech for the U.S. She is going to be on a call with us this coming Wednesday, Wednesday or Thursday, probably Wednesday. You will be able to find that information on xyztools.com. We'll also be sending out some emails, but don't count on getting the email. Go to xyztools.com. Also, make sure you're registered to get the email from there. There's a little tab that says sign up for our newsletter. The newsletter is the notification of these calls and the other things that we're doing here. There's just a lot of good things coming in place, and Meredith is one of those things, John, that we're excited about. You and I had a great conversation with her, so I'm excited to have her on the call next week to kick off into 2018 and to wish everybody a Merry Christmas there this coming either Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, once again, Keith, thank you for your leadership, not only for recently, but over these 20-some-odd years, and you and Sandra and everything that you guys do to support the team. A lot of people don't even realize some of the things that Keith has done over the years, including the doctors that are in flyer and concept, and some of the doctors on that flyer. They introduced the product and got to reference it in different books and things, and the XYZ tools and all the calls and everything else, and really supporting the heck out of me, because as most of you know, I am not real good with technology. I'm not real good with much, but at the end of the day, I believe strongly in what we do and what we stand for, and Keith is a great support to us and our organization in terms of keeping me on track and keeping our organization on track and communicating and sending things out, and just once again a blessing to our organization and our team. So with that, I just want to thank everybody. It's been a phenomenal year. To each and every one of your families, first of all, blessings at this holiday season. Secondly, great health, and we know how to get that certainly with our products, Immunical and our other products, and looking forward to working with everyone in 2018 and to really make this everything that we all believe that it can be. It's already a good company, and I've said this to Maurizio, so I don't mind saying it to all of you. Because he spent $34 million to get here. None of us had to spend that. But in talking to Maurizio, the very first time I met him, I said, Maurizio, I've read the book Good to Great many times by Dr. Jim Collins, and I believe in a lot of the points Dr. Collins espouses in that book. But when I look at Good to Great and I read Good to Great, Immunitech is a great company. How are we going to get there? And it's all of these little jigsaw puzzle pieces. It's these Thursday calls. It's these Wednesday afternoons calls. It's these product calls. It's the calls that Kevin and his group are doing. It's the calls that Angelo and his group are doing. It's what each and every one of you are doing every day, putting on the hardware out there and going out and fighting the battle and telling people about Immunical for the first time. It's to quote one of my other mentors, the late Charlie Regis. Charlie used to say, he used to refer to me and to some other people as lunch pail distributors. He said, you guys bring your lunch pail to work, just like a guy who goes to work in construction like my dad did for 40 years. You know what I mean? And you go to work every day. And that's what we do, and that's what we've done, and that's what we're going to continue to do, but we want to make it better, not only for each and every one of you that are hearing my voice here as we close this call this evening for 2017, but for the people that come that want to live the lifestyles that we all have, and most importantly want to have the good health that we've had with this product. That's what we're about in 2018 and beyond, but let's get to 2018. I'm excited about it. Once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Can't wait to work with you all. Have a great holiday season. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you all in 2018. Bye for now.